Yo, today I want to talk about stuff that you can implement to your video while at the same time making a huge difference. One of those things is lighting. I really hope I landed it this time. I made that transition like 7 times. So lighting. This is currently my setup. I have a window right here, so that's my first key light, and I got a backlight right there. The first advice I would share with you, please do not use, what do you call it? A light bulb light? A room light? That top light, that's really just harsh, because that ceiling light right there is not supposed to make stuff look pretty. It's supposed to light stuff up so you can see in the dark. The most famous lighting setup is probably the 3 light setup. I'm gonna show you a picture. This is basically where you put the lights. I decided to split this video into 3 main components. The first one is gonna be lighting, the second part is gonna be framing, and the last chapter is gonna be about colors. So I'll see you in the evening, because right now I gotta go play volleyball, so yeah, sorry. Alright, so I'm finally back. The rest of this video is gonna be uncut, because I want to go to sleep early today, kind of. So as I said, I'm going to split this video into 3 main chapters: lighting, framing, and colors. Lighting. I was already talking about 3 key lighting, and that's the most standard kind of light for my normal setup, where I already talked about like my window and the backlight. I'm sort of missing a fill light, but I sometimes use. I literally just Google white into Google and have it on my second monitor as a sort of fill light, because it's not strong enough to point where it's going to overpower my main key light, but it's just enough. And you can also, of course, tweak it, so it's just one of those nice things that you just can, like life hacks, you know. My brain is working at like 20% capacity, so I'm sorry if I fumble around words. As I said, don't use light bulbs. Use ambient light, natural light. Natural light is also just a perfectly good light to use, because if there's sunlight, I'm slow today. The sunlight can be a bit too harsh, and that's fine, because it still looks natural. People know that it's natural sunlight, so if you try to fake it, then it would probably look weird, right? Let's have this over with. Shoot from the shadow side if you wanna have your video be more dramatic. I'm gonna discuss fields later in this video, but basically, like this, if I recorded a video like this, and I'll turn to you like this, the light is coming from this side onto me. You can see just a slight stripe of light on me, and it makes the scene look more dramatic, as opposed to if I did like this. Like this doesn't really look very dramatic. I look like a freaking. This doesn't look very dramatic. That's what I'm trying to say. I prefer this sort of dramatic. How many times am I gonna say dramatic? I prefer dramatic lighting, that's why I use it in my videos, and I can't be bothered to really play around with lighting too much. So, that makes, if you're shooting from the shadow side, it doesn't just make it more dramatic, it also makes it more cinematic. If you have your light source, if your light source is pretty harsh, or like, it makes your face contrasty, what I'm trying to say is, if it separates the light and the dark side too much, then it is pretty dramatic. If you have a soft light, the less dramatic the scene is. And my brain is mellow at this point. I'm just going to talk about framing a little bit. So obviously you have your rule of thirds, please try to use it. It's basically a 2-line grid, from the top to the bottom and from side to side. It splits your video into the thirds, and you want to place your subject on the, Basically, if I was exploring right now and I was moving ahead into this direction, and you want to see, I cannot explain. I literally don't even have the thoughts right now. It's not that I don't have words to describe it. I literally don't have thoughts in my head right now. You know what? Fuck it. No one's gonna watch this video either way. Just Google rule of thirds, golden ratio. That's like a spiral that just occurs in nature. I think also it's like a 1.6 multiplication. I'm so tired. I can't even form a comprehensible thoughts. Also Google leading lines. That's basically what it is. Like if I made a scene, like if in my normal setup there are no leading I mean, there sort of are. The shelf right there is sort of pointing towards me. If I were to put myself in a corner of a room, now this is a decent shot, not because of the lighting, but because of the framing. I have like 7 hairs in my eye. Because there's like a bunch of these stripes from the window, not sure what this thing is called, you know. They are basically like all of these little lines that are pointing at me. Mr. Beast uses this way too much in the thumbnails. I'm gonna show it to you. Hold up. Mr. Beast thumbnails. Great, and it shows me all of the thumbnails that are without any leading lines. Jeez. He really... I know he uses them. I know for a fact that I've seen a bunch of his thumbnails use them. Right, this is dumb. And also what makes a huge huge difference is perspective. Now I'm going to talk about feels. Feels, if you want to make your subject look big, you'd obviously change the perspective so that way the camera would be under your subject and you'd ideally use a zoomed in lens. So that way, like right now I look big if I even like peek out of the frame and sort of spill into nothingness. But if I make myself look small like this, and I cannot really put the camera any higher right now, but I can, for example, lower my chair, and this just, now I look way smaller. And that is sort of a feel. You can also make there's 100,000,000 different things that make a feel. Like if you're trying to make a scene, ask yourself, what does this scene represent? Like, what is the feel of this scene? Maybe it could be if you're trying to make it like repulsive, you could use green, for example. If you're trying to make it look almost in a sexual tone, then red is your go-to color. If you want to like make someone mysterious, you're not gonna show his eyes, and you're gonna cut off the eyes by having something in the foreground, like a ceiling or a flower or that usually indicates that they are not telling the truth or they have an ulterior motive. You can also hide it by a cap. There's a I just cannot think right now. Yeah, as I was talking about feels, you can also just change colors. Like literally, it's called a warm light for a reason. It literally makes your scene warmer. Feels like summer. But if you make it colder, on the other hand, it feels like night. It feels like just cold and a repulsive environment. Yellow represents like joy and stuff. You can use colors, you can use literally symbols. Like if I were to, what was it, like zigzag and a zigzag and a Booba and Kiki. Yeah, that's basically, this is what feels represent. Like, which one would you say is Kiki and which one would you say is Booba? Which one would you say is Booba and which one would you say is Kiki? most people, if you're normal and not a psychopath, this is Kiki and this is Booba. Because it has like round corners, and this one, Kiki, just sounds sharp and like this, and Booba just there. There's not really a way to describe most of the feels. You just have to sort of come to an understanding what scene you're creating and create the scene around that. I literally couldn't give like worse advice in terms of explaining. This is where I'm gonna cut it. I'm at my limit. I'm gonna go brush my teeth and I'm gonna go sleep. I missed yesterday's upload. It's pissing me off way more than you. And honestly, I just wanted to make this video because I already made the thumbnail for it. And I just like the thumbnail and the idea that it could go viral because I'm greedy. Let's go to sleep. See ya.